Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of What's Really Good podcast. We back again. We back again live. We discussing all the things that's going on currently in the America right now. It's been crazy with the whole, this whole year actually, the global pandemic. Let me not disrespect Kobe like that with Kobe's death and then the coronavirus pandemic. And right after, during the end of it, it seemed like the end of it, everything was about to open up. We get the George Floyd death, police at it again. So, we back again. I'm back with the homie Kayla, Robbie, y'all jacket. We're going to discuss these topics right now. So we're going to jump right into it. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Ken. Oh, yeah, Ken is here. Ken is in the building too. What's going on, Ken? You know what I'm saying? Y'all jacket. I want to start off with y'all today. How y'all doing today? Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Good.
So we're going to jump right into it, man. Jump right into it. Interracial children right now. We have, interracial children. Right now, it's a real tough situation because, you're on both sides of the fence. But, so what's being taught? How do you guys dealing with that? I don't have no experience with that personally. I got, nephews and all that, nieces and stuff like that. But personally, I don't have that. So, I want to know, y'all jacket it. What are you teaching the kids? Can you hear me, bro? Y'all jacket it.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, shoot, brother! I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. I was asking you. What I'm saying, with being having interracial children at a time like this, how are you? What are you saying to them right now? Like, I know it's a little different than having fully black children, for lack of better words. What do you do right now? What do you say?
Yeah. Man, the same. I would say the same conversation I would have. I think it's just the same conversation, brother. At the end of the day, for me and my kids and my wife, they fall in a category as a minority. You know what I'm saying? On the black side and on the brown side, so they still a minority. Some people will still see them as the color of their skin. And pretty much, man, I just install in them and let them know that who they are is beautiful, and installing inside of themselves, like the importance of just being fine inside of their own being, especially even at a young age, with my daughter being 3 and my son being 2.
Right. Yeah, they are kind of younger right now. So I see. Yeah. Definitely.
But they get the concept and everything like that. Like my daughter has super like Shirley Temple curly hair and stuff like that, and we tell her, that hey, there's gonna be some people in the world that aren't going to like your hair. As long as you like your hair, don't cut your hair off because of somebody else, but you keep your hair how it is. Like, at the end of the day, your skin tone is still a dark pigment as well. People aren't going to like you because of how you look, but don't allow that to stop you. So racism is just as much as alive in an interracial marriage and an interracial relationship, and with mixed kids, just as much as just regular black folks or regular brown folks.
Definitely respect the perspective, bro. Thanks, man. How about you, Ken? What can you say about this, man?
I mean, my personal situation, because Kenya's mother is, she's white, and that's fine. That's fine. But she has certain cultural beliefs that obviously I don't have. So that mixed in with obviously us just not being together, it's always going to be a divide. I teach my daughter the importance of her blackness, because that's the optics. That's just basically what people see. Not even basically, optically, like that when you look at Kenya, you see a black little girl. But I also teach her with respect to her white side. And it's kind of hard as a black man to remain partial when explaining racial sensitivity to my daughter because I have to remain objective. But in a time like this, it's kind of hard though, right? So I just teach her the overall truth. I mean, Kenya knows I'm a pundit for the truth. We play no games. She's into her Black history, but I also want her to be in her white history too for reasons of the truth. Of the truth. I mean, she has to learn the truth. She's not gonna learn it in school. She's not gonna learn it from her friends. She's gonna learn it from her father first, and then I'm gonna give her references to people who even know more than me. So, I always tell Kenya, I said, "Sweetie, you're Black with respects to the white people."
Definitely, man. Respect that perspective, man. I appreciate that. When we don't have that situation going on, it's really hard to really give I wouldn't say a real answer, but an answer that a lot of people respect because you're not in that situation. So I appreciate that, man.
Can I say one more thing too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I also, Kenya, I told her that there's always been the truth behind lighter skinned people being more privileged in white people's eyes. I teach her to carry herself as if she's just 100% Black. Like, don't even go into situations thinking that you're going to be privileged, because obviously, I mean, as time progresses, there's going to be, I mean, just the mixed race of Black and white is probably going to be a race. People are becoming more liberal, so that pushes all Black people out, and then these mixed races become the new niggas. So I mean, that's just another conversation though. But I just wanted to express on that though. What up? What's up, Robbie? What's up, Caleb? Salute.
Definitely.
To chime in on that, I don't have any interracial kids of my own, but I do have 3 siblings that are half white, and they live in Idaho. And I used to go up to Idaho every summer.
We talked about
and spend my summers out in Idaho. Mm-hmm. And that's where I first got the feeling of being the nigga. You know what I'm saying? And until a lot of times, we get on job sites or we get in certain scenarios where we're the nigga, like the only Black person around, and it's hard to deal with. But I've been through that early on in my life, going out and experiencing Idaho. And one thing that you realize is that no matter how much these white people will deal with you, they always do something to let you know that, hey, you're the nigga. And just know that, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a peculiar scenario when you like, let's say you're the Black man and you're growing up in Idaho. My sisters, they grew up in Idaho. They date white men. So it's like, how do you defend your Blackness, and what is your stance in those scenarios, in that type of environment? What do you do?
And Kenya's mother's from Idaho, to chime in. That's crazy. Yeah. So Kaylin, we had that conversation. Yeah, man, she's from Coeur d'Alene, and they're super racist up there, man. So just try dying.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah, I know, but just try dying to the fact that you have to let your mixed daughter go with her mother, who barely pays acknowledgement to her Black side, but the racist people up there do. That was interesting. Man.
That's crazy to me how you could get, you like, having sexual relations with Black people, but don't like Black people. That's all right. Or won't acknowledge. That's twisted in the head to me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Ken, yeah, you guys just have daughters. You guys don't have boys. So you guys both just have girls.
Yeah, I have a daughter.
Okay. And you too, yeah? You have just a daughter and you don't have a son? I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Son and daughter.
Oh, okay. You got both. Now, okay, question for y'all. Do you teach the daughter a little different from the son? Being that it is, you know what I'm saying? Is it different lessons being taught to the son other than the daughter? Since they are mixed, one's a man, one will be a woman. Are there different lessons being taught to one another?
I couldn't really hear you, but I think you were talking about do I teach my son a little bit different than how I teach my daughter? If I'm getting the drift of it. Yeah, it is a little bit different. I think it is just because I'm raising a son. You have to teach your son the game a little bit different than my daughter. And like right now, my son's 2, so he ain't grasping much right now when it comes to that. But when he gets older, I'm gonna have to teach him the same thing that I had to learn. Hey, if you get pulled over by the cops, listen, it's yes sir, yes ma'am. Keep your hands on the steering wheel and acknowledge everything that you're doing. Like there's nothing different. I'm not teaching them anything different, because at the end of the day, you know, that's where I really learned that, man, my brown people are getting treated the same way as my black people are. So like, I guess that's a beauty in where like the mixed relationship between me and my wife is. It's like, it's not like we're getting treated different.
Right,
it's like I know, yeah. It's kind of sort of like, no, you still a minority whether you black or brown. So it evens out.
I agree.
So I'm teaching them the game
almost.
Yeah. I got to teach them.
I think it's a tough subject though, because even though the black and the brown communities are minorities, it seems to still be a division and a separation. And part of it is because I have to slightly disagree with it getting treated the same. I don't think no one gets treated as bad as black people in America, and the numbers prove it. I think the Hispanic community is right there. They're like right there, but I think with the numbers that prove it, with how many, the ratio of black people that are locked up, the ratio of black people that are killed by the police is higher than the Hispanic community. And you know, I know every incident isn't recorded, but you know, a lot of, I've had some run-ins with a lot of, you know, my Mexican friends, because you know, I haven't seen them post anything or say anything to back up what's going on right now, but I saw one of my Hispanic friends post a Mexican Lives Matter thing, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm not saying Mexican lives don't matter, but that wasn't the Mexican that had his knee on his neck and got killed. It's like we have to stick together. It ain't a attention grabbing thing or us too. Okay, yes, us too. But I've never seen this person say anything about that until now, and that's what bothers me about the whole thing. So I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's definitely close, and it's definitely, you know, closer than others. But I definitely don't think anyone's treated as bad as black people in America.
Can I say one thing? Maybe Hispanic Latinos, they don't get it. It's different, maybe treatment, but I think maybe Yaja had it, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he meant they like we're looked at the same.
We're not looked at the same.
Hey, no, that white man,
Mexicans got it higher.
Okay, but hold on. But I mean, that's obviously, I mean, other than certain stats in certain situations, that's a matter of opinion, right? So I don't, and I agree with you. Black people, like, nothing compares to black people's plight, but that's slightly different than how white people look at us. Do you understand the difference? That's a whole different paradigm.
Yes, I understand.
And I like to piggyback off of what Ken said. That's kind of sort of the gist of it. I mean, I have been pulled over. I'm just going off of my personal experience and then the people around me. You know what I'm saying? I have been pulled over by cops. My father-in-law, which is Hispanic, has been pulled over by a cop, but he got a gun pulled out on him. So like some people see us as the same thing. You know, some people go, I mean, the Hispanic culture just got done dealing with like, go back to just like how we go back to Africa or whatever the case may be. It's like, oh, all Mexicans are from Mexico, so let's send them all back. Let's build the wall to keep them out. And you know what I'm saying? It's discrimination on both sides. So
let's
when
have
it
some
comes
black
to my
advocacy though. Let's have some black advocacy though.
Of course, there's discrimination on both sides.
I get it, but that's too much.
Yeah,
That's too much lack of black advocacy though. I didn't
Yeah,
mean to take
yeah,
it though. Let's talk
I
about
don't
us.
mean-
Let's talk
right.
about us.
I don't mean to disrespect or
Me neither,
discount.
y'all. Me neither.
Yeah, I don't mean to discount what Hispanics go through. Don't take that as what I'm
Talking
saying.
about us right now.
I'm saying that,
Sure.
you know, the numbers, let's go off numbers, and numbers don't lie. The numbers are blacks are regarded worse. Like it's not close. You know what I'm saying? That like the numbers can back that up. As far as you look at the ratio of how many blacks are locked up as opposed to how many blacks are in America.
But Ronnie, we're going back into it though.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to clarify what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say Hispanics don't go through. I'm not trying to say that. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying right now is the time for black advocacy, and it's a lot of being. And I think we have to back each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our leaders, you know, they do back up the Hispanic community, but I don't really see a lot of Hispanic leaders return the favor. You know, Nipsey and YG made a whole diss song towards the president of the United States because he dissed Mexicans. That's like public backing of the Hispanic community. And I pointed it out to one of my Mexican partners, and they just completely disregarded it. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, we need more of that unity together to realize we in this together. That's the only way we're gonna overcome it. So
let me ask y'all a question real quick. So
once we get that, it's gonna be that's fire, right?
Do you have, like you said, your father-in-law? Have you seen like your wife's family kind of advocating with you, or have you seen like your wife's family kind of like being standoffish towards the Black Lives Matter? Like, have you seen them? Like Ronnie said, he hasn't seen too many of his Mexican homies coming to help him. Have you seen your wife's cousins to help out?
My wife, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, her cousin, her grandma. I have had a lot of support for the Black community from. I mean, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed from the Hispanic community that I guess I was able to be married into because they support me. They actually, for me and my family, they have supported me through a lot of stuff, and they're glued to the TV just as well. My wife was the first one to say, "Let's go protest," you know, but we had to dial it back because we were like, man, people are going crazy right now, and I gotta make it back home to my baby. So we just did it in a different way. But yeah, her whole family is with everything, and I think that's just the beauty of I guess being in an interracial relationship where it goes, hey, I'm able to learn their culture, they're able to learn my culture, and really see for each other goes, there is differences, but you know what? At the end of the day, we are kind of sort of the same. Like, so that's why I say there hasn't been any differences in my opinion. Okay. I actually have, in my experience, I actually have dealt with more racism with my own race than what I have done with my Hispanic community or even other races, you know. But that's going into a different question.
Yeah, I don't think right now we need to point that out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like.
Hold on, Rodney. Let me ask a question. How do you experience racism from your own race? I don't think that it will fall into the category of racism if it's somebody from your own denomination.
Right.
So I don't understand how that's
it's
possible.
Okay, so then my question would be,
it's a prejudice. It's a prejudice. It can't be racist.
Yeah.
So you can't be.
Well,
I'll go ahead and answer the question, but you can't you can't have racism against your own race. Is that what you guys saying?
No, because we share the same race. How? Racism means there's a divide.
Yeah.
You can see a distinction between the two. I mean, no, of course not. No.
So if I'm still going to answer the question, but if let's say which I don't, let's say I had a healthy hatred against black people. That's prejudice, not racist.
Yeah. No.
If I acted in the same way as a white person has acted towards,
racism comes with power. So regardless on how you act with another black person, you still don't have the power that racism holds. No, it's a prejudice.
Okay. So I have dealt with more prejudice when it comes to my own community than what I have dealt with any other community.
We all have.
And,
we do.
From just being interracial.
That doesn't say too much, though. You're in your own community. Of course, you're going to have people hating other black people.
If I use the wrong word, then I use the wrong word. Yeah.
So, of course, that's going to happen. Yeah. But that doesn't change the fact that when I leave my community, I'm still getting being chastised by other races. But saying I've been in more situations where my race is more prejudiced isn't really saying anything, because that's supposed to happen. Like black on black crime, that's supposed to happen. That's all around. There's other black people, so of course we're gonna have black. You know what I mean? So
dogs. Hey, Robbie,
why is this supposed to?
Because
why is this supposed to happen though? Why, just be, comments like I have.
This is what I'm saying. Crime is going to happen regardless. I'm supposed
to marry him.
No, you're not supposed to do anything.
So I'm not saying you're a black man.
No,
sir.
What we're saying. Where's your Robbie? Hold on. What can I say something? What we're merely saying is that more than likely, I mean, for layman terms, you're gonna see a dog fight a dog before you see a dog fight a rabbit.
Facts.
Close proximity, who you're around, who you're jealous of, who you would like to assimilate to growing up. I don't think any of us wanted to assimilate towards a white man. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know I didn't. I mean, all my likes and my OGs was black and people I looked up to. So yeah, it's a geographical thing, brother. It's not. I mean, you date who you date. That's all respect, though, man.
People always want to highlight black on black crime, like white people don't kill white people and Mexicans don't kill Mexicans. Like, I mean, it's you kill who you beef and you're in trouble with who you're around. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't want to sit up here and act like nobody that I know Mexican is fighting for us. I do got a homeboy named Alberto. Shout out to him. But we gotta jump into the next one, fellas. Let's jump into the next one. Shout out to Alberto, man. He always advocating for us.
Alberto.
How difficult is it for black children, mixed race children, day to day? Day to day, I know what your kids are younger, so Ken, you probably could give us the best answer right now. How difficult is it for Kenya, on a day-to-day basis, just being mixed? What have you seen?
It's leveling off now, man. It's leveling off because where she was extremely culturally white, I've been active since day one, and then that segued into her living with me for the past 3 years. So now she's rooted and grounded. I mean, on the day-to-day, Kenya has the best of both worlds. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, she knows country, and she also knows urban and city. So on the day-to-day, we're okay. Sometimes she asks questions. Obviously, I have to have answers to. If I don't have answers to them, I tell her that. I'm not going to make anything up. But like I said, man, my situation is different, man, because especially, what's going on currently now, man, if she was to come to me with, it'd be hard for me to separate me being objective and subjective right now. But day to day, I think we're okay. We have talks, but I think like in a more broader spectrum, it all depends on the regions too. We got to remember a mixed kid who's growing up in rural Oklahoma, that's a way different dynamic than a mixed black and white kid growing up in LA. It's just a different dynamic. So geography plays a big part. Again, too, it also depends as a black man how black oriented that white girl is coming off the gate. You know what I'm saying? So if she's culturally white, like my baby mother is, I automatically expected that. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to make sure I had to go a little extra hard. I had to move forward with speed more or less to make sure Kenya was already locked in. Because I mean, I was fighting. I was fighting some stuff, but never forget, geography definitely plays a part too. And again, how black oriented or black culturally the white mother is, and how involved the black dad is too. Because sometimes environment can raise a kid. Kids aren't always raised directly by their parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I got. Thank you.
I agree.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. You know what? I could kind of jump in on this one. I have biracial nieces and nephews. They're half black and half Mexican and white. And something that I witnessed myself, my niece, you know, she's the same age as my daughter. And we were out at the mall or somewhere, I forgot. But a white lady, I guess she was a talent scout. She came up to all three of my two daughters and my niece, and she goes up to my niece and says, "You're so beautiful. You have such long, pretty hair. You look like you can be on TV." And she doesn't say anything to my black daughters, and they're like young at this time. So a lot of times, the mixed kids go through it because sometimes they get hated on by other children at school because of their curly hair or because they're light skinned. But that's probably because of how the world treats our all black daughters. They leave them out. They feature them on TV. They don't get featured on TV. They don't get featured in ads. They don't get featured because their hair is coarse and because their skin is more dark. You know, the lady made my daughters feel like shit, and I had to go home and have a conversation with them and tell them they're just as beautiful. Just because they don't have the long curly hair or the light skin, don't mean they're any less beautiful. So, you know, I understand the difficulties my niece faced at school. She was like, you know, the black girls, they don't like me, and I had to break it down to her. You know, it's not, you have to kind of talk to them and have dialogue with them because they're facing and they're seeing a lot on TV and what's perceived around them, and that's kind of shaping the way they deal with that school. You know what I mean? So it's difficult.
Does Ronnie sound glitchy to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's coming in and out. I heard he's coming in and out.
I got what he was saying though.
Rob or Caleb, have you guys had any experiences with some of your biracial
just like you want to say, Ronnie,
or
just like
they've been through
I don't
like that?
I don't have any interracial kids. I don't have any kids, but I do have cousins who are half black and half white. But just like you were saying, there's been times like with my cousins where you know they felt like they weren't black enough or they weren't white enough. You know what I'm saying? Where they were, you know, teeter-tottering on their identity because them being mixed, it's like, well, black kids make fun of me because I'm half white, and then when they're white, it's like white kids make fun of me because they're black. So it's just to piggyback with you. So I can again,
background noise.
What is that?
Background noise. We have background noise. Jesus.
And again, we're talking about kids. So just to be a kid, a mixed kid, and having to go through that with your peers, I can see how that shit sucks, dog. Because again, they're kids. You know what I'm saying? They don't know no better, bro. So for kids to have to go through that, mixed kids and full black kids, just having mixed kids going through that, not knowing their identity, I'm pretty sure I can see how that would suck ass. You know what I'm saying? Just from my point of view.
So,
Halo.
so when I used to visit in Idaho, I used to go to the
You
Boys and
up,
Girls
man?
Club. And at the Boys and Girls Club, inside the little teen center, you can watch anything you want on the cable but BET. BET was banned. And if you got caught watching BET more than 3 times, you were kicked out of the Boys and Girls Club. So this is how strict and real they were on protecting their culture, that they didn't want their kids to participate in hip hop. And that if you got participated in hip hop, you were literally kicked out of the institution where you couldn't come back. So that alone showed me the culture of where black people stand in white society. It's like they want to feed us with a long stick. You know what I'm saying? They never want to get too close. And as far as the future, all these younger generation white kids and boys, man, and boys and girls, they're out here showing us that they ride with us on a different level that their parents and their grandparents never have and never will. So it's a lot of these, I would say, actors and entertainers coming out advocating, but a lot of these people have been in the industry for 30 years. So why is today the first day for you to come out and say something? So that really shows you where you stand and what your core values are. So man, you know, we have those people that are gonna stand with us in silence. We have a majority of corporations that are gonna keep their hands clean and stay out of it. And we're gonna see where all this goes, man, because
Or not.
like
Or not.
like Ken said, man, it's a whole different narrative for those interracial children in middle America where there's majority of white people. It's a whole different ballgame.
Of course.
Hold on, we gotta bring Ronnie back in. I don't know what happened. You got anything to add to that, Jaquetti?
Man, I agree with you guys. We're in a different time in a different world. I'm glad to see more white people stepping up and saying something. You know, I think that was what was missing for a long time. We always had, you know, our black culture and people that we looked up to in the black community step up and say something about the injustice, and it empowered us. You know, now that you got some celebrity white people saying stuff now it's hitting them in their culture, are people that they look up to, like a Shania Twain and stuff like
Definitely.
that. Where now it's hitting them like, well, if Shania Twain is advocating for this injustice, and I already kind of feel that it was wrong, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Now I'm gonna use my voice to say something. And then with this whole social media thing nowadays, where you can meet somebody and talk to somebody in Germany or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of diversity going on social media, where like a lot of the younger white community, they love the black culture so much that they're like, yo, you going to go out and protest? I'm going to go out and protest with you, you know? So I just see the world changing in a different way. And it's better than, you know, you still going to have some businesses that, like, even on my page, I seen some businesses that didn't even say nothing, or they try to keep it neutral. And now you can't keep it neutral. You got to pick a side. You either hot or cold. So with them, they got the unfollow button, you know. So
You know, Ronnie, can you hear me? All the rest of you guys can hear me?
I can
hear you, Ken.
Okay.
I can't hear Ronnie though.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and
go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and express on that. Man, I don't think that anything's getting better. I think that things are changing though. But change doesn't always mean for the better. I mean, it just they're just learning how to gauge the people. COVID-19, that was a gauge. I'm not saying that the disease wasn't real. That's not what I'm saying. But it was still an experiment to see how we would deal with something like that. And then dealing with, rest in peace, George Floyd. So everything is a metrics. Everything is a gauge. And I think that the next 20 years, I don't see the world getting any better, especially if we continue to have presidents and the likes of Donald Trump. I just don't see it. I mean, sure, listen, here's the thing. We can't negate the fact that these millennials are fierce and they're very forward thinkers, whether we agree with them or not, but they're huge advocates for change. And a lot of these like the younger generation, their parents are our age, or a little bit older, and we're still young. So you can just imagine, like, they're moving forward with speed. They're viable forces, but that can still be a small percentage because hate is forever going to be taught. And as long as hate is taught from up top, up bottom, and in the middle, is going to encompass all. It's going to hit every four corners of a box. So I don't see things getting better. I see things probably changing for Black people, and because we have a lot of stuff to work on as well.
Ronnie, we got you in. What's up? I still can't hear you, Ronnie.
Ronnie got to get off that dial-up.
Yeah, Ronnie tripping.
I know. He on that spectrum.
He on that.
Yes. Like,
get off the $10 my boy. Step them gigahertz up.
Yep.
Definitely, but how y'all feel about Trump giving his speech saying that he will deploy army on sovereign land if all this stuff doesn't cease to exist, and that he's gonna inflict law and order. And he gave a big speech and marched in the middle of the army and held a Bible in front of a church and
upside down,
pictures, and it was real Hitler. It was real Hitler-like, and it's crazy. Like he basically came out and said that he's going to deploy the army throughout the states.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we still outpopulate the army. Just we're not smart. And what people fail to realize, in a riot, organized crime still hasn't even gotten involved, if they are. So it's just. I mean, a revolt can definitely happen. I'm not gonna say it is gonna happen, but I mean it can, because these riots look a lot different than the riots that I experienced during the Rodney King era. I mean, I'm 40 years old. It's 12 when the Rodney King era was going on and going through that in LA. And the big difference now is with this riot. This riot is going more nationally. Those riots were primarily here for the most part. So, hey, man, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, because the riots have reached all 50 states. So there have been riots in every state in America.
Right, and it wasn't like that during the Rodney King, right?
When they speak Civil War, if it's throughout the whole country, then a Civil War is pretty much imminent.
Well, let me ask you a question, Caleb. Let me ask you a question. So the Civil War, right? So who participates? First of all, who participates in the Civil War?
Everybody.
In this instant, no, not the technical definition. I'm talking about pertaining to now, because there's going to be some people who just sit out and don't want to deal with it at all.
I get what you're saying, but as long as they're instituting curfews and they're going to start putting shortages on food and paying everybody what's this called, unemployment and all this, when all this stuff starts to change, because they're going to be diverting those resources to the army, then people that aren't just trying to sit the sidelines are still going to be affected. So then it's going to be like, whether you in the game or not, it's going to affect you. So you might as well pick a side and ride, because if not, you're just going to sit back and wait for the coin to flip. And
where Where
resources,
do the black rich go?
You're still going to be put on a quarantine and a curfew. I mean, who would just sit back and just accept something like that? And if that's the case and you're that type of person, then we don't want you in the field anyway, because you're useless in the field if you have that type of mentality.
So
was that right? You said something?
I feel like that's half of America, though, my nigga.
Shit, more than half, 3/4.
Half these motherfuckers ain't ready for no civil war if shit really got down to it. Half these motherfuckers don't know how to hunt.
They're scary
half
as
these
fuck.
motherfuckers don't know how to
and they
half
scary.
these motherfuckers ain't.
And
half these niggas is scary. What makes you think they gonna see army fucking tank and you gonna have just 10 people outside waiting? It's like I feel like I get what you're saying. Again, I get what you're saying, Caleb, and I do agree. Like shit gonna get crazy.
It's either you're gonna purge or you're gonna be purged. The purge was a perfect example. You're gonna purge or you're gonna be purged. So what do you want to do? You want to sit back in the house and wait for the year? Maybe not this year, might not be next year, but eventually somebody's gonna come purge you. So you're either gonna purge or you're gonna sit back and wait to be purged, and that's the game.
I think that's an awful example. The purge using a movie as
yeah, because it's a literal example.
Nah,
you
bro, that's
talking about go watch the movie, and then you choose which one you want to be.
Who do you want to be?
You can be like the Avengers. I mean, I can use a movie too. That don't make no sense. What I'm saying is, what I feel like is there's not enough people who will be purging. Is what I'm telling you. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I get what you're saying. Like it's time to step up. But if government really shuts shit down, how long do you think the average American can last without help from a group? Like if a civil, I just don't feel like it's enough people down ready for it, like you're saying.
Rob, it depends. When you say the average American, it depends on the American.
Meaning what? Explain that for me.
You said how many? You said go back to your statement. You said how many Americans can what?
How many Americans are really ready for a civil war? Not just Americans. How many Black Americans who have advocates? How many of them are legit ready for a civil war? Legit, and I mean like guns up, man ready. Have because we're fighting an army. You have the leaders ready. How many people are really ready for that in America? And it's like you're saying the purge. Let's go off the purge. That was just pure madness. And pure madness won't beat the army in a civil war. That has to be.
What I'm trying to get you to understand, Rob, is that what Trump basically said is that he's not backing down and that he's not giving in to the whole country protesting 50 states. And Trump came out and said, I don't give a fuck if it's everybody protesting. You're either going to break down or we're going to install order, law and order. So he basically said, nigga, if you want war, nigga, that's what you going to get. How do we respond to that? He basically gave us no choice. Go to war with us or back down right now.
But proper structure for a civil war is what I'm saying, and I feel like at this point we don't have that. We don't have proper structure for a civil war. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't go to war. I'm just saying we need more to go to war. Is what I think. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're definitely not ready.
So Caleb, Caleb, since you say we're not ready, you have to present a resolve. How can we get ready?
Honestly, the same thing I've been saying is to organize, to actually figure out the leaders within our own community. We're not going to pick one unified leader of the whole Black community, but each community should have some type of delegate that can reach out to the other delegates so we can all kind of be on some type of page. Because if not, when the shit hit the fan and they got it separated, divide and conquer is the basis of all military strategy. And they've been dividing and conquering us for years for this moment.
And you know what's the issue too?
Stand a chance.
You know what the issue too is? When you say our Black leaders, our black leaders. And it's nothing to go against what you're saying, but you notice the white tactic also, and it's a cold political move. They always go to black celebrities under the pretense that we look at them like black leaders because they have the larger platform and they're famous. Black celebrities are not black leaders. So what that does is it kind of pits us against each other, right? Because we're thinking like just for lack of a better person. Don't give me your opinion. So now we're thinking like, why is Ludacris? Why is he representing a situation and not Al Sharpton? You get what I'm saying? It's because the white people in power, they automatically go to the celebrities. The celebrities don't know anything about policies, domestic. They barely know. We've seen so many celebrities hop on and false represent us. Am I lying? We need to start empowering our legit black leaders and not the black celebrities. I mean, they can come in, of course, for platform purposes and to reach the masses, because they have the talent, they have the draw in. But come on, man, the focal point has to go to the black leaders first, segueing into the black celebrities.
Now, there is some black celebrities that's out there actually advocating. Like Diddy, I had to give him, he gave a State of the Black Union address, and he brought in, many prominent black figures in communities that people really don't get to see or hear from.
Optics.
So there is some type of good work coming out of it. It's just not consistent enough to really do to make a dent in the tank that we gotta go against. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough, man. We gotta triple down right now.
Well, because it's celebrities, they aren't well versed. And a lot of them, they just hop on campaigns. And a lot of those campaigns segue into their entertainment. It segues into their entertainment campaigns. So I think that the black leaders, I think the legit black leaders who have adopted black leadership as a lifestyle and not alternatively, I think they should be on the forefront. They should represent us and we should empower them. They should be recognized. We can't hear Ronnie. We can't hear Ronnie, man. Come on. Man.
I don't know what happened.
That nigga gonna have to move.
So what's up?
What's up, my nigga? Get off.
How you feel about the law and order, man? How you feel?
Who, me?
Yeah. How you feel about the law and order?
Nah, that nigga behind you.
Oh, I'm barely hearing y'all. But man, I mean, the curfew is already in place. I hear what you guys are saying and everything. It will. One of the hardest things I have seen with our community is us coming together and fighting for one common purpose. So once we can try to figure that out, even down to just the protests. You got some people wanting to protest for a man that was wrongfully murdered. And then you got other people like, man, forget this protest. I'm going to try to come up on some shoes. So if how are you going to defeat a army or whatever Trump has if we can't even come together? That's my outtake on it, man. All I can do
we come
now is
together
pray and hope. Yeah, but I think we just need, if we can get more.
What is the plan?
Damn, the audio is distorted.
If we can get more unity, then I think we're deadly when we come together. We are deadly. Like, we came together for this man's death. As small as it is, it impacted them enough to not allow first this man to just get away with murder. Second, this man not to get away with third-degree murder. But that's just because just a little bit of unity brought that together. So if we are, certain white people hate us, because they want what we have, the power that lives inside of us. And once we realize the power that we really have as a Black community, once we realize that power and we can articulate what our plan is and what we want to do and how we're going to accomplish it, and us to be disciplined. That's the thing about it. It's got to be disciplined. Like I loved it when there was this dude that I seen on the TV when they were doing the peaceful protest, and some dude wanted to run up in there with some firecrackers and let off some firecrackers and cause chaos and everything like that. And other people came in and was like, no, bro, that's not how we doing it. And they were about to fight him to stop him from messing up the unity of what they wanted to accomplish. So once we become disciplined, and let's say King come up with a plan, right? He come up with a plan and we execute the plan, then that's when you're going to start seeing change. That's when you're going to be able to defeat somebody like Trump. That's when you're going to be able to see change that we want to see. You know, when a lion goes on a hunt, a lion can't hunt by itself. Why is the lion considered the king of the jungle? It's not the fastest. It's not the strongest lion. It's because they have unity. It's because they have teamwork. It's because, hey, you do this. This is your role. This is your role here, and this is what I'm going to do. This and what it's going to do. This is how we're going to take down an elephant. So if you want to take down an elephant like Donald Trump, you're going to have some kind of unity. That's my outtake on it.
I agree with that. Ken, you got anything to add before we get up out of here?
Yeah. I mean, we need to talk about measures to attain that unity. You know, we can all, me included, it's easy to go to what we should be doing and elaborate on that, right? And express on that. Because when we talk about what we should be doing, in a way, subconsciously, we feel like we're being accountable. But we're not accountable until we talk about what we should be doing and we actually act that out. It's a physical thing. It's not just an emotion. There's works that need to follow that. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the Black community, I think we have a lot of work to do. Also, I think we let too many other races in on our internal affairs. So a lot of times I reserve the right to say certain things about our community until I'm around our community, because I don't want that person of another race to say, see, because can't no other race ever say, see what Kenny is saying, because I don't talk bad about Black people, or I don't let them, well, I tell the truth, but at the same token, I watch it and I filter it and I watch what I say, because it's more important before I complain about it to other people. It's more important for me to talk about it amongst our race. And I try to censor it as much as possible, but sometimes I'm guilty of just going off on a rant because I'm upset. But then I think to myself, you know what, Ken, you could have kept that emotion to yourself and took it right back to the Black community where we can thrive. Because they want to hear us when we need as Black people, and so what they're doing, they're journaling that shit, man. They're just like, okay, so Kenny said, well, Black people need to do this. And then what they're doing is, okay, so we're going to take that away. We're going to take that away. Let's keep some shit that we need to work on to ourselves. But talk about it amongst ourselves. That's what I got.
Okay. Robbie, you still here? What's the deal?
Yeah, of course I am.
So what's the plan, man? Against the law and order, what we going to do?
Man, again, bro.
Don't lay down. It's like state property, man. I know you don't like me referencing movies, but it's like state property, man. It's either you gonna get down or you gonna lay down. And if you lay down, you gonna stay down, nigga. That's what Trump told me today in his speech, bro. So what should we do?
I'm not saying don't get down. I'm just saying don't prematurely get down. Don't just go out there guns a-blazing, nigga, when you don't know what you even shooting at.
No, nigga, shoot.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, and again, I don't know what the plan, I don't know what the perfect plan is. To me, bro, I feel like as Black people, in my opinion, I feel like we fight everything The sole problem is the system. The system's the problem. We've tried all we can
Lay
to fix
down
it. The
or lay
best we
down.
can do is keep trying. Like you said, get down, like, but it has to be more organized. Like, and just like Ken said, there's a lot of people we let in our plans that shouldn't be in our plans. There's a lot of things that we say that we shouldn't be saying out loud because, like you said, they're jotting that shit down. So it's like, again, I don't feel like we're ready for a civil war. I'm not saying we don't need a civil war. I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying we should be preparing better. Not preparing better, but we still have some preparing to do before we get to this civil war. And we can win this. And I feel like I don't know if we can win it though. I ain't gonna
No, we
lie.
can't.
I feel
Rob,
like
I mean,
we
Rob,
should
we cannot win. No, Rob,
Africa, my nigga.
Rob, we've been disowned since the day of time.
We never gonna win. It ain't here. This is their time, bro. Go to Africa, man. Get your 100 mil. Get your millions up.
We need every gun out of every rap video to even have a chance.
No, those are props. No, those are props. No, those are props. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on. But Rob, tell him, man. How did I beat you to that, Rob? You supposed to say those are props.
You know what I'm saying? These are not.
Shout out to Rob.
Think about the crazy things like that. He should know better.
Hey, shout out to Rob, man. What's your management company called? Willow Jackson Music?
For Willow Jackson Music, JR King 24, for Scott Jackson, all my niggas, King's really, all my niggas out here putting in, making fucking classics, nigga.
Let's go, Caleb. No, let's go, y'all. What you got? Crank it up.
You're not ready.
He dogged my internet a while ago, so now this is karma. That sounds good.
No.
Well, you already know what it is with me, man. Politicking all day and night, you know what I'm saying? Finna get the merch site up next, you know what I'm saying? We coming with everything, man. Politicking Forum, daily articles, content, man. Bringing back the Politicking Podcast. We back live Saturday, 6 o'clock. Sunday, 6 o'clock. Bringing the interviews back, man. We finna get shit back going, man. Popping. Fuck this quarantine. Fuck this civil war. We getting to it.
Hey, man. Ken Chronicles. Shout out to the Politicking Forum, HNS 420, Willow Jackson Music. Yajaketit, inspirational speaker. Him and his wife. He gonna hop on when we can hear him. Ha ha ha. Messing with you. So look, check this out. Shout out to everybody, man. Check out the blog. Shout out to Jelani. He's a feature writer up under Ken Chronicles. Shout out to Zaire. Check out that Underrated and Overdue. Shout out to Lucky.
Check out my here. Underrated, Overdue. This nigga's hard as fuck. Go ahead, Ken.
Zaire super hard. Underrated and Overdue. Check that out. He got a single I Know dropping. Shout out to Lucky. He got an album dropping Friday. We're going to be doing some work. Shout out to Evan on the beats. Evan going crazy. Shout out to Rory. Shout out to Breezy. Talented young cats out of LA, man. Y'all look out for their music. And I'm going to be sending links and stuff. Once again, thank you guys for the inspiration, man. And I'm pretty much done with it. God bless, brothers. Be safe, please.
Hey, Roddy, what's up? Can we get a shout out for you before we get out of here? Can we hear you? Damn, still can't hear that boy.
Hey, shout out to from playing my boy.
Shout out to the rap program.
HNS 420, man.
HNS 420,
man.
Shout out to the rap program.
That's some high nigga shit right now. That nigga on right now.
That nigga distorted. And he laughing. And he laughing to himself. You know you high when you laugh to yourself and you can't say nothing back. Hey man, I had fun, fellas. Hey,
yes, sir, man.
Let it run. We got a minute left though.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, that nigga hit us with the visuals. Caleb. He hit us with the visuals.
Hey, let's go, man. We out of here.
Peace.
We politicking, man.
Man, we gone.
Can you hear me?
Did you cut it yet?
Can you hear me?
I'm cutting it right now.